Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzondo, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University of Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you know we just call this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Today is Tuesday, January the 10th, 2020. How are you doing today? Ladies and gentlemen, I know we missed the episode yesterday. I apologize for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about something today that's very important. It's very important. It's sometimes you don't think about this. I know before, I really started hedging my own bets and, starting to, do things for myself and start businesses and companies and do things on my own, to spring my own self out and, make my own money. I really never gave this a thought, but one important aspect about business is who are you getting in business with? Now, sometimes you might run a business and you don't do business with anybody. And there are going to be times that you do business with a couple people. Sometimes you might do business with a lot of people. It just depends on the kind of business you are. And today I'm going to talk to you about this trucking business that I'm in. I'm in business with a partner, and the partner I'm getting pretty tired of, okay? I'll be very honest with you. I'll be very upfront. I am getting very annoyed with my quote unquote business partner because I'm ready to give them the full throated boots, okay? And it's not a big deal. It's just one of those things. Sometimes I can give you a few examples in the past life, in the life that I've lived up to these 43 years of knowing when to get in business with somebody and when to not get in business with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I will give you the first example. When I was young, when I wore a younger man's clothes, I was 16, 17. It was me, my boy John Boy, shout out, my brother. It was me, him, my brother, my cousin, and another cousin of mine. It was 5 of us gentlemen. And we was walking one day, and I've always been about trying to make a buck, trying to make a few dollars. And we got to talking about mowing yards, and I said, hey man, I'm cutting yards. I'm getting paid like $6, I'm splitting money with my dad, and it was kind of, it was all right, but it wasn't. And I was like, hey, so y'all ever thought about we can get a lawnmower business started, So I cut grass, this one cuts grass, this one can push the lawnmower, this, that, and the other, And we got to talking, and it was 5 of us, of course, 5 people. That's too many people, but anyway, it was, and we walked, I'll say, for the next mile, we argued about price, we argued about this, that, how to split. By the time we walked that mile, I said, you know what, I don't want to do business with you fellas, okay? I'll keep taking the cut from my dad, I said, this probably ain't a good idea. And so we moved on. And so it was one time, it was me and my brother. We talked about getting the real estate together. And my brother, we talked about, splitting the money, but I told my brother, I said, we probably shouldn't just split. I said, we probably should just put the money back, but I said, because things are going to happen to the building. I said, the most important thing is, at that time, I said, the most important thing for me and you is to, just to say we own a building, and we can live there for free. And we could charge other people. I said, that's the whole trick, My brother, he agreed, and, we talked about it. We formulated a plan. We had a plan too. We had everything, everything good. And there was only one problem. Sometimes doing business, when you know somebody, when you really know somebody, me and my brother, we know each other on a, because me and my brother, we lived, I don't know about you kids, but me and my brother, we had to share a space from the time I can remember to the time I graduated high school. So me and my brother, we lived in the same house. We had to share the same room for 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 years basically, okay? And then we came back and we was roommates when I was an adult. You know, we lived together for like a year. So me and my brother, we know each other. You know, it's not like I don't know this guy, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, I was blindsided because my brother, he had so much knowledge when it comes to real estate. And I was like, okay, man, this is my big brother. I was like, I was kind of leery, but I'm like, we talked about it, we hashed it out, we got this thing worked out. But, you know, sometimes you just know people. And I keep thinking, when is this going to screw up? When is my brother going to do something that's going to be, you know? And finally, my brother, we talked to the guy. We had a deal. We just had to go to the bank, do a couple things, and we was going to get this. It was like a four little townhouse, like 4 townhouses, you know, like a little apartment. And told my brother, you know, he can live in one, charge other people rent. We could just put the money back and just keep doing that for a while. And of course, my brother, he said, I never forget these words my brother said to me. And this one I said, never again with my brother. My brother said, and I quote, I'm going to get me a house first, and then we'll come back and get the townhouse. I said, that don't make any sense. We're done. It's over with for me and you, sir, okay? So never go into business with never go into business with somebody that you really, really know, unless you can really trust them. If they're like my brother and they're kind of wishy-washy and indecisive and always, I don't know, straddling the fence, don't do it. You need people that's going to be movers and shakers, okay? And so you really have to know these people. And sometimes doing business with somebody you don't know is better than doing business with somebody that you don't know. I mean, it's the truth. I remember my friend, he opened up his donut shop, and somebody said, are you going to go to business with him? I said, no, I'm just here to support. You know, if he needs me to come in and help out and do some things, I'm good with that. But we don't need to be business partners because we're friends. We're good friends. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to ruin that. You know, I don't want to always have to come talk to business with my best friend. You know what I mean? And so sometimes it's like that. And sometimes you meet somebody, a perfect stranger, and you say, hey, we should do a business together. And that works out. And so always be mindful of who you're doing business with. Now, I will tell you this. I bought a truck, okay? Bought a truck, you know, that it's cool. I bought this truck, and in the truck driving world, you can buy a truck. If you live here in America, you can say, hey, I want to get my own authority, you know. You get your own authority, that means you run under your company, you get your own insurance. It's a lot of stuff you have to do before you can actually get started with the thing. Or you can buy your truck and say, hey, I'm going to go to this company, let's say JB Hunt or Swift or whoever, and I'm going to run under their authority. That means they put their information on the side of your truck, and you drive around and now you're partners with them, okay? And so sometimes it's better just to get started. You want to get started, you bought the truck, you're like, all right, let me just get started, and then let me come back and run under my own authority. And so that's where I'm at. Working with this company, they're okay. They're not the greatest. They kind of do things that's very aggravating. They do things like call you up and say, hey, and then they'll say, hey, you're running under our authority. And it's like, listen, I could quit today. I could quit today, slap the numbers right outside the truck and go on about my business, okay? But I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. Okay? And it's because sometimes when you go into business with people, you want to be, you know, I'm a very laid back person, but at the same time, you have to know, hey, I want this, I want that, I want this, I need that, I want this, I want that, I want that. When it comes to business, hey, are you going to get everything you're looking for? Not all the time, but there's enough stuff that you want, and you say, hey, I'm not, I'm going to, I'm not doing any of that until this gets done. And that's just how it is. That's just what you want sometimes. And so for me, today was yesterday was not the breaking point, but it was like, all right, because I told my wife like a month ago, I said, we got to start, I got to start looking into getting my own authority. I said, because, this truck, I'm ready to do my own thing. I'm ready to just go for 2 days and come back or be gone, but it's like, I feel like I'm still working for somebody. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing, but I don't want to. I'm at the point in my life where I don't want to work for people. Like I just want to do whatever I want to do. I want to do my own thing. Like it's you understand. Some of you understand. Some of you might understand one of these days. But for me, it's like I've worked for enough people. I've had enough jobs where, you got you gotta check in, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Hey, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that, but I want the freedom to do whatever I want to do at this point in my life. If I want to take the day off, I will. If I want to, I will. And this is fine, but it's just not what I want. And for you, and for me, for anybody, let's say, because I've started writing. I started writing letters to people about freelance copywriting. Like, hey, I would like to work with you. I would like to, write some emails for you. Blah 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 blah. And of course, I'm going to be working for somebody. I'm a freelance copywriter, but I'll be working for somebody. But I need the experience. Of course, I know this. But eventually, I am going to leave that alone and write my own stuff and sell my own products and call that a day, and be as independent as I possibly can. You know what I mean? I mean, there are still rules you have to adhere to, but the more you think about it, the more you look around, the more you see, like, for me, and I think for most of you listen to this show, working for people, working with people sometimes can be a total pain. And the way things are going with the layoffs and, there's no real loyalty. There's no real, hey, stick around and we're going to elevate you to this. No, you could be stuck somewhere for 20 years, 30 years. I don't know. I mean, most of you won't, but some of you will. And it's like, sometimes it's hard to get promoted. It's kind of tough, but you want to start a business. If you don't have the capital gain, you might want to work with somebody that has the funding or whatever, have the backing. But always watch who you're doing business with. Check them out from A to Z. Don't wait until you get into bed with them to discover, hey, this guy's a psychopath, or this lady's a nincompoop, and you don't like working with them. It's, do your vetting ahead of time. Do your vetting early. And do your vetting often. Before you sign all the dots and cross all the T's. Because you can always jump out, before you get to the marriage. You can always step out. Okay? So be careful. Be mindful who you want to do business with. I would say don't do business with your family, but that's just my dealings. Family has been terrible trying to do business with, so be careful about that. and just make sure you're on your P's and Q's. And make sure you're doing the things that you need to do, because you don't want to be the one. You don't want to be the person or somebody's like, I don't like working with this person. They suck. You don't want to be the person that sucks. You want to be the person that's like, hey, I gotta get rid of them. They stink. Okay. You want to be the one that's on top of things, not the other way around. Okay. And always watch your paperwork. Always watch your money. Always cross every I and cross every T and dot every I. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Be careful. Be watchful. In business, you always have to be a little paranoid. Okay. It's just the way it is. Don't get too comfortable with people. Hell, people will steal your money. Hey, trust me. When I was a kid, my dad worked at this place, and you could just go out. This was the 80s, early 90s. You could just go. My mom could just go pick up his paycheck. She would sign it, cash it, spend the money. Well, they stopped doing that because this lady was coming to get her husband's check every week. Then one week, she picked up her husband's check, got her car. She split town, okay? And so he got home. There was no wife, no money, no nothing. And so he told them, hey, this lady stole my check. And they said, what? She's been coming out here for the last 3 years. And he said, hey, well, she ain't coming out here no more. So, can you loan me some money? So they stopped doing that because it happened once, So always be mindful of all that stuff. Anything can happen anything can happen in the wonderful world of business when you're out here, getting started, doing your own thing. And I would advise all of you. I don't care what you do for a living right now. I don't care what it is. I'd advise all of you, no matter what you're doing, to do something, to make some extra money, to generate some more money, because it's not about the money itself. It's about, hey, let's say if you see a real estate deal that you really want to get into, and they say, hey, we need $1,000. You can just easily say, hey, I got $1,000. Because everything doesn't require, and I'm going to say this and then I'll go. The more you think about it, the more you realize, the more you understand. Everything doesn't require you to have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. You don't have to have that. Sometimes all you need is $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, and that's easily attainable. You know what I mean? And you can get that from doing extra work, doing extra things. So always be on the lookout. Always save up some money. Have a stash for investments. Things like that, things of that nature. No, I'm not a financial planner, but I've learned a few things over these years, and the easier it is for you to have to be able to grab some cash, the easier your life will be. All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that is it. We will be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, God bless you. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody, peace.